started your LP, you've run it for a few months, made a bunch of progress, and now you've missed training at the gym. We get asked all the time what happens after a break. What we always tell our lifters here is that we have to manage the return depending on how long you were gone and the reason for your absence in the gym. There's really three kinds of layoffs that we see most commonly here. Number one is missing a week or so of training for no particular reason at all. What this means is that you traveled, something came up at work, some family stress, but the point is you missed a week of training and you've come back. What do we do now? Typically when you come back, there hasn't been a massive detraining effect. We'll probably just run back the last numbers you did before the absence. This makes sure we don't lose any progress and you pick up right where you left off. Missing a week is not that big a deal. Get back on the horse, go again. The second thing we see a lot is, let's say you miss a week or 10 days because you were sick. You had the flu, you had food poisoning, whatever, but you were properly sick for 10 days. What do you do when you come back? Again, the detraining effect's gonna be minimal, but you're gonna be tired and your recovery stores have been depleted. Now we need to take this into account when you come back so that we don't dig you a bigger recovery hole that you can't get out of. Typically we'll bring the weights back 5 or 10% from the previous workout and adjust as needed depending on the reason why they were sick. Having a small cold, or like we get, the man flu, is different than food poisoning for 10 days. So we adjust accordingly, but typically 5 to 10% works really well. We get back and we go again. What this means in practice is that perhaps in the squat, we only come back with a couple sets of 5 instead of 3 sets of 5 across. There's no lingering soreness and we don't dig ourselves a bigger hole. The third situation we see is a lifter missing a month or more because of an injury. This could be a bad back, hips, knees, whatever. Now, ideally, we're not gonna miss any time at all. Even if you have aches and pains, we'll figure it out. But if someone does tweak something and they take off for 6 weeks, when they come back, we handle it differently. We're gonna treat the first few workouts as re-education, not necessarily full-blown training. I wanna reintroduce the movement patterns and find out if there's things we need to work around based on their injury from before. I'm gonna try to find ranges of motions and loads that they can handle and that we can load incrementally so that we can continue to start making progress, and if necessary, use those until we can get back to the full version of the parent lifts. For example, somebody comes back and their back was bugging them, we may have them rack pull to start instead of pulling off the floor. If their knees were cranky, perhaps we have them box squat to keep those knees back. Doesn't make much of a difference. The point is we're trying to find a way we can introduce the training back in so we can get off and running again. At the end of the day, lapses in training are going to happen. We want to make sure as much as possible we don't miss workouts, but if it happens, 1, for no particular reason, 2, you were sick, travel, whatever, or 3, you were hurt for some period of time, when you come back, we want to make sure that the transition back to full training is as smooth as possible. So we have to make sure we manage the stress, the exercises, the intensity, the load, all of those things to make sure that we can get back on track as seamlessly as possible.